Your fears are keeping that little boy with his hands tightly gripped on the wheel in control of your life. Time to cut the shit. All right, so the first thing you got to keep in mind when I say that is that this little boy I'm talking about is within all of us. So with all due respect, no bruised egos, no reasons to get offended. This is the same shit that the architect has had to deal with in my lifetime. It's a simple truth. Every man at some point in his life, if he's going to step into his masculine leadership, is going to have to take on his courage to take risks. This list is going to be the breakdown of the architect's blueprint for risk management. Let's get it. Gentlemen, brothers, architects of the future, welcome back. I am masculinity architect Duwayne Langham, developing mature masculine leadership for this modern world. All right, let's jump right in with the architect's blueprint for risk management. The first thing that you got to understand about risk management is risk assessment. There is going to be something to lose. That is why this is not a boys' game. When there's something at stake, when there's something at risk, that means that there is something of value that may be lost, that could be taken. So with that, fellas, the thing that you've got to keep in mind, and you have to also understand, is the advanced concept of mitigation. You have to mitigate your losses. You have to be calculated, decisive, understanding every action has a reaction, every cause has an effect. There are consequences to the actions that we take as mature masculine men. So before you proceed, you want to make sure that you have calculated and understand the risks at stake, and are these losses something that you can manage. The next thing that you have to understand is that you're going to need to challenge your fears. False evidence appearing real. So the first thing I'm always coaching guys through is, all right, let's go all the way to the other end. You got to dive right into the deep end of the pool as masculine men. So I ask you to look at what is the worst case scenario? What if things don't go to plan? What if everything that you calculated you may lose, you actually lose? How bad would that be? You see, as masculine men, we need to get our minds wrapped around the logical, pragmatic, understanding this is reality. This is what may happen. This is what we are putting at risk, and this is what's at stake. That's the only way we can proceed in the world of masculine. Now, with that, I'm going to take a quick pause to remind you what's at stake and what we risk if we don't spread the word. The tribe is growing, gentlemen. We are on our way to 1,000 subs. We're currently just above 120, and our next milestone is 250. You've got to do yourself a favor. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell for the notifications. You do not want to miss the next piece of content. I'm dropping new videos every single week. You can't forget to hit the thumbs up, give it a like. We need to let these algorithm gods know that men have to have messages like this. It's vital. Before you leave, drop a comment down below. You never know. I'm checking my comments every single video, and when I see an engaging discussion, I know it's something that we got to chop it up on. Your question could be the topic of my next video. The Architect's bonus blueprint is going to be some juicy stuff you do not want to miss. I'm really going to give you something you can sink your teeth into. All right, gentlemen, now we're going to change gears, and I'm going to tell you how you can overcome the challenges of taking risks. You see, when risk is involved, you're going to face your fears. We already talked about the false evidence appearing real. What I'm talking about is the feelings that come up with that false evidence. That's right, gentlemen. When there is fear, it's going to paralyze you. It's going to stop you. It's going to give you cause, reservation, reason for concern. Now, I can't give you a solution to make that go away. Why is that? Because it's a part of being a human being. Let's just deal with that and get the facts straight. What I can give you is the encouragement that what grounded masculine men do is one simple solution. Feel that fear and do the shit anyway. Don't get me wrong, I wish I could soothe the little boy in all of us and give you some alternate means to overcome, but this is just the bottom line of it. If you're going to take on your life, you've got to take on yourself, you've got to take on your fears, and you're gonna have to push through that shit anyway. Find a way. Fear is a good thing as long as you take it on with a masculine mind frame. Risk is actually a good thing, because risk is a catalyst, fellas. Risk causes you to take on the conversations outside of your comfort zone. You ever hear that there's success and there's your comfort zone? These are two spaces you cannot occupy at the same time. That's exactly what risk is, the bridge to move between. When you take on risk in your life, you're taking on growth and expansion. Once you cross that bridge, once you take on the risk and you make it over to success, you've gotten out of your comfort zone, you've gotten out of everything that was limiting you and keeping you small before. Now you've leveled up and you've got access to reach new heights of accomplishment. And the last part about that risk being good is I'll remind you that rewards require risk. Everywhere you look, rewards are only given to those who take the risk. Nothing happens without risk. Keep that in mind, fellas, next time you start to feel yourself get paralyzed. Whew, you stuck around, fellas, to the end of the video, and I'm so glad, because this is the architect's blueprint for risk management. And with this, I've got the juiciest secrets that I've kept and utilized for myself, and I'm giving it to you. If you fear the thing, you must do the thing. If you are a masculine man, or you've been listening to messages out in the world on masculinity, this is something that you recognize, no doubt, or have at least heard. If you fear a thing, I invite you, you must do the thing. This has been a mantra that I've taken on myself. As a man, as a masculine, grounded leader in my world, I understand that when fear and risk come up, this is stepping into grown man shit. This is picking up my tool to go and move things out in the physical world. And that fear, that risk associated, is all the things that could hold me back, all the things that could limit my progress and growth. Now, whether it's big and small, when I feel that personally, as the architect speaking, I have to take that on. Some of the toughest and most challenging conversations I've had in my life have come from taking on the fears that I have, the conversations in my head, which allows me to stand here and testify to you some of the greatest successes that I've had in my life. When I first heard about intermittent fasting, that sounded like voluntary starvation to me, let alone when I found the discipline to take on that fear, to go with the risk that I would be missing out on indulging in those foods in life. I lost 100 pounds over the course of 2 years. Through that journey of learning discipline, that's why I'm on my Creed 3, and you see all this transformational change coming up in the year in the Jordan, because I found my access to gain the rewards on the other side as soon as I crossed that bridge of risk. As I share with you often here transparently and honestly, fellas, I am recently divorced. A 15-year marriage, a 17-year relationship to a wonderful woman that birthed my 2 daughters and gave me the richness of family in my life. Why do I share about this divorce? Because on the other side of that risk, I had to find myself. I had to risk, will I be alone? I had to risk solitude. I had to risk, will I make a wrong choice? I had to risk, is this big grandiose ideal of marriage and happily ever after mean that I must stick inside of this, or do I honor my truth? Do I honor myself? And I tell you, on the other side, again, having taken the risk to cross that bridge, as I stand here now officially single, the rewards that are yielded for the lifestyle that I get to enjoy, the rewards that are yielded now that I'm dating and even in a relationship, honoring myself, honoring my truth, setting my standards and expectations for what I need and want in a partner and want to enjoy in my lifestyle, I am fully fulfilled on the other side. And one more to knock it out, just to bring it home for you, fellas. It's all about the toys. You see, the big boys get to play with the big toys. I've shared on this channel before how I've recently purchased my dream car, my 2010 CL63 AMG. Can we get a shot of that? Now with that, I've had this car now for about 4 years. In that time frame, when it came across my feed while I was shopping for a second vehicle, I had no choice. I didn't know how I was going to afford it. I didn't know how I was going to take care of the maintenance if anything broke down. But let me tell you, inside of taking those risks, it has paid for in dividends. I've had the experience in real fucking life of driving my dream car. To this day, 4 years later, I still look back every time I wash it, park it, get gas, and yeah, that's me. I went for a drive last night. This is my stress relief. That V8 engine, those pipes wide open. I got it tuned, a couple of custom modifications. You know, I'm doing my thing. That is my reward. That is my stress relief. That is my slice of the pie of what life is supposed to look like. When I drop down the windows, when I've got the heated and cooled seats, when I'm getting my massage, when the speedometer is climbing over 120 and everything's just zooming by, I am in my zone, enjoying my rush of life. And there is nothing in the world like it. Now, what was at risk? How was I going to afford it? How was I going to manage the payments? How was I going to make sure it gets paid off? How was I going to take care of the expensive maintenance? This car costs $150,000 new. And I've done all that and then some. That car is paid off, title in hand. I've customized it, dropped it, upgraded the engine, tens of thousands into maintenance and upgrades, and she's still going strong. I would have never gotten to experience this if I hadn't taken on the risk. Fellas, if a conversation like this for risk management is something you could use in your life, if these tools and framework have helped you gain access to a breakthrough in taking on risk and fear in your life, there's access to more. I've crafted my solutions blueprint for a situation just like this. For those most challenging times, those most challenging circumstances, the things that you just can't get your head wrapped around, or you can't see what's missing that keeps shooting you in the foot and keeping you from reaching success. Book a call with me, one-on-one with the architect. Let's sit down and design your blueprint. Take 90 minutes to dial in, see what tools that'll make a difference for you, put in what's been missing for you to win your game. Hit the link in the description, go ahead and book your call, and we can get started. And in the meantime, I'm gonna be right here, being the best version of myself. One could say, beyond empowered. Question is, fellas, who are you going to be? Peace.